This is Strandparken, outside Stockholm, an apartment building 8 stories high, made entirely out of wood. A return to 1,000-year-old Swedish wood building traditions, but on a slightly grander scale. This is one of the tallest residential buildings in the world, made out of wood.
Our motto is we need to grow our cities, which means that we need to use renewable building materials, we need to use wood, and if we replant, that means that we have building materials forever and ever without touching our fossil materials. This house contains about 2,000 cubic meters of wood. That takes the Swedish forest about 1 minute to grow, which means that every minute the Swedish forest produces enough material to a house like this.
Welcome into one of the apartments.
Thank you.
We're on the 3rd floor. We're standing in one of the 2 buildings that we designed in Sundbyberg, which is part of Stockholm, and it's an all wooden construction. And you get the wooden feeling. It starts in the elevator.
Yeah, very
You can see wooden paneling in this main entrance. The elevator shafts is cross-laminated timber, and it's a pioneer work in that sense, I think. And the key thing, building in wood makes the carbon dioxide footprint much reduced, at least by 50%. That's the main motivation for me to ask all my clients, can we not do this in wood instead?
Constructing wooden apartment buildings higher than 2 stories was forbidden by law in Sweden for over a century. That law changed 26 years ago, and now the amount of wooden apartment buildings have increased from 0 to 15%.
When you entered, you had this smell of this like earthy wooden smell to it, and also it's quiet. So when we got here, immediately you felt that there was something different in the material. Our son had some asthmatic problems, and we immediately noticed the difference when we moved here, since the air is drier. And I think it's due to that's a wooden house. And also to know that the walls are made of wood and nothing else. It has a genuine aspect to it and a quality that I think, for me, I feel safe knowing that what you see is what you get. There are no crazy emissions or substances, and that makes me feel safe.
Wood is the most democratic material of all, and the most sympathetic material of all, because it touches so many of our senses. It smells good, it's beautiful, it's wonderful to touch, and, not least important nowadays, it's environmentally friendly. It's a renewable resource.
The construction industry globally is letting out 39% of all our carbon dioxide emissions, while the flight industry is letting out about 2%. So we need to shift the focus, I think, very quickly, because here is where we can really make a difference. We decided to prefabricate as much as possible, so this house is actually built 80% up in the north of Sweden, and then we took it down to the city, mounted it in 7 months. While the neighbor here in steel and concrete, it took them 23 months.
My personal feeling now that I visited it is it ages very well. Basically, I feel that this is a happy place. So it's a very joyful experience to revisit this place.
It is worth remembering the enormous change in attitude this building represents. If you go back no more than 10 years, wood was a material that was generally regarded by the construction industry as old-fashioned and very weak and very rural. Concrete was the material of choice, urban, strong. But now, look at this. Building an 8-story high building 10 years ago would have been regarded as total nonsense. So that's the greatest feat, the change in attitude.